Are we finally in sight of perhaps a ceasefire and maybe peace in Ukraine and Russia? Certainly there's more optimism right now as we see Zelensky has said that recent talks have been more realistic. He says that we still need to be cautious. But I also look at China, and China has stayed neutral, and that's so important because if China is seen to be backing Russia, then of course there could be an escalation, and that's the last thing that we want in the world right now. There's already been such a catastrophe in Ukraine, horrendous situation where so many people are suffering and have suffered as a result of this invasion by Russia. The Russian people, of course, have been closed off to social media, and we wonder if that hadn't happened, whether there would be a turning against Putin. We've already seen signs of that, and of course right now Putin needs to save face. We're coming up to the 17th of March. 17th of March 1991 was the USSR referendum. That may be seen as a key date. Certainly Putin would like Russia to return to its former glory. And Russia had its biggest glory when it was joined together with Ukraine. In fact, Kiev was actually started as a city before Moscow. Ukraine has been such a key part of Eastern Europe and perhaps underestimated by the rest of the world. But right now it's not underestimated. We're now seeing this country for what it is, resilient people that have been incredible in what they've done to fight for their country and what they believe is right. Russia has struggled, and of course they're spending $1 billion plus every day. It's been hell and expensive for Putin, there is no doubt. Can he now save face? Can he come up with a conclusion which he can say to the Russian people, yes, we've won this and we've achieved exactly what we wanted to? The prime ministers of Poland, Czech and Slovenia have travelled on trains to Ukraine for meetings with Zelensky, bravely going on those trains long distances to meet and support Zelensky in his fight, if morally and by making sure they're there and providing backup and support for Ukraine. They've stood by Ukraine. Of course, we worry that them standing by Ukraine as they do, it could, of course, cause again an escalation. Nobody wants an escalation, but there's this balance of how do you stop this Russian-Ukraine war without having support for Ukraine. Of course, Russia is such a big country, a mighty country, and without the support of others, it could have easily perhaps crushed Ukraine. People have been scared to perhaps fight alongside, but have supplied the ammunition and the tanks to be able to withhold Putin's invasion. We'll see what happens. The stock markets, of course, have, and particular oil, have seen massive fluctuations in their prices. As perhaps things start to calm down, I say optimistically, we could see something where we end up with a solution that comes to a conclusion that is good for everybody long term. We want to be optimistic and we want to look to a good future. The world's had too many crazy situations in the last few years. This one, we hope it gets solved, and we hope it gets solved super quickly.